What is up, everybody? Ninja Nick here with Tactical Gaming, bringing you guys another video. And this one is basically going to be exactly why the ATF shouldn't exist. Because they go after law-abiding citizens, and only law-abiding citizens, because they are too cowardice to actually go after criminals, the people who actually should not have guns. Now, granted, this is America, and I still stand by the belief of everyone has the right to defend themselves. Okay? Now, if you were a criminal at one point in time and you actually reformed, which is a possibility, there are people who do choose to become better people. That does happen. Now, when you're a part of a gang and you're a known gang member and you're still allowed to be out on the streets, that's the issue. Why isn't the ATF keeping an eye on these guys? Why isn't the FBI keeping an eye on these guys? See what I mean? Because they want to sit there and take away your pistol brace. They want to sit there and freaking take away your AR. They want to sit there and take away this, take away that. They want to be afraid of you and me. The people who literally go to work every day, pay their taxes, follow the rules, follow the laws, all that other kind of stuff, but not gang members. So I'm going to do two videos, or at least this is going to be a two-parter, right? So this one, drive-by shooting with full auto Glock caught on camera. Now, this is Legally Armed America. I like this guy because he's really quick when it comes to releasing info about any kind of shooting or ass backwards bullshit that's going on in the country when it comes to guns. Okay? So, we're going to go ahead and get into this. I'll let this run. I'm going to go get me some more coffee. I'll be right back.
Liberal mayors have a really big problem that nobody
Big
wants
time.
to talk about. They certainly don't want to accept any responsibility for.
We went 34 days without a shooting, and then Saturday morning we had another one. It's about 25 to 30 rounds.
Austin police confirmed they are investigating multiple shots fired calls on Tuffet Lane.
Now, funny thing is, right? They're going to sit there. They're going to sit there because of that statement right there. 24, 30 rounds. They're like, see, that's why you shouldn't be able to have extended magazines. You can't have this. You can't have that. Those Glock switches are coming from China. But yet they won't sanction China and they won't sit there and actually, investigate cargo coming from China. And they're just going to use this. Watch, you're going to see a news report at some point in time. This is why we need to ban guns. This is why we need to take away extended magazines and clips and all that. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. But you won't hear about, oh yeah, we need to go after gangs, stop gang violence and all that.
In the previous cases, the suspects stayed in the car. Ayers says he believes they are targeting a certain house, but no one is living in the one riddled with bullet holes. He says a group appeared to take video of the house before the latest shooting. Neighbors previously pushed for more police patrols. APD says they do patrol areas of the city proactively.
We're still not feeling safe in this neighborhood at all. We got people here moving out of the neighborhood because of this situation. I'm not far behind.
Now, this was a couple of days ago. Just yesterday or the day before, I believe, another report came out where they actually made some arrests. Now, come to find out, the reason why these people were shooting at this particular house is because a juvenile under the age of 18 is involved in these shootings and lied on Facebook of where his address was. He put his address as across the street. So these gangbangers were actually looking for a particular juvenile, but were shooting towards the opposite side of the street, to the wrong house.
APD says these cases stem from one house on Tuffet Lane. The juvenile suspect who lives there was allegedly involved in a shooting on Howard Lane. But police say the suspect actually lied about where they lived. They said they lived here, which is across the street from their home. Take a look at these bullet holes that came from those drive-bys. So the people they were fighting with...
See, they keep using the word and term juvenile because they don't... See, I remember the good old days when you did stupid shit like this, as even a juvenile, they would try you as an adult. They need to do this shit again. How hard is it, right, for ATF and the FBI to come together? How hard is it for a mayor to sit there and call up the president and say, hey, I need help. We have an issue with gang violence here. And then just go in to every documented, because they even said they know where they are. It's not like they don't know where they are. Social media's a bitch, and they can find people. Okay? So why have they not gone to these people's homes, wrenched them the fuck out, and throw them in prison permanently? It does not matter that they're like juveniles. They're doing adult like shit. They are shooting up people's homes. They are killing people's children. They do not care. Americans need to stop being so sensitive and so like, oh well, maybe they're doing it because their feelings are hurt, or maybe, they feel misunderstood. That is not an excuse to sit there and end people's lives. It's not. And this right here should not be a justification. And it's funny that this right here, they won't sit there and, bring up on why. This right here is why people need to have guns to defend themselves, because criminals don't give a shit. And this right here is why the FBI and ATF, if they literally want to actually, look good in the eyes of the people, need to start going after criminals. But the ATF are a bunch of cowards, and they won't. Because they know they'll shoot back. They know, for the most part, that we, the people, won't unless we're justified in the cause of us using our weapon. So that's it. That's why they go after the law-abiding citizen and not the actual criminals they're supposed to be going after. Because they lost their backbone.
Suspects have ties to a gang called Youngins Gonna Murder, or YG.
What?
I want to repeat that these are juveniles.
Youngins Gonna Murder. Oh my god.
Get into the weeds of where are the parents, but where are the parents?
Right.
There's a lot going on right here. We want to sit here and talk about how it's nobody's fault except guns.
Yep. What was I saying?
We want to talk about how guns are the root cause of the problem.
2 cars.
No, that's a lie, and so do they.
See, car there, car there.
Wackos. No, that's an absolute lie.
See,
but look,
criminal right there, look.
a huge majority of the voting public are stupid people. I say that all the time, and I don't mean that as a joke. A very large portion, and we're talking about both sides of the aisle, but a very large portion of the voting public is extremely stupid.
I agree with that.
They don't want to do any kind of real research of their own. They don't want to distrust the people who are spoon-feeding them all of their data.
Yep.
I think the people who are spoon-feeding all these lies to them don't know that they're spoon-feeding them to stupid people. One of the biggest problems we have regarding this is just like this story here in Austin, Texas. You have liberal mayors. Liberal mayors...
There. I'm going to pause this, okay? New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, Houston, Phoenix, Philadelphia, San Antonio, San Diego, Dallas, San Jose, Austin, okay? All Democrat. And then you have, you have Jacksonville and Fort Worth. Those are Republican. And then you have, Columbus, Indianapolis, Charlotte, San Francisco, Seattle, Denver, Nashville, right? Boom, look at all of that. Look at those numbers.
Know that they have to get reelected. I've said this time and time again. Politicians only care about getting reelected.
Yep.
If these liberal mayors actually aggressively pursue these gang
so look at that, right? Homicide rate per 100,000 population. District of Columbia, that's DC. DC, number 1. Ranked number 1. That's where senators and governors, the president, and all that. I said it in the previous video. That is one of the most corrupt... No, it is. Right there. The most corrupt place in the entire country. I also love how, oh no, here. I'm ranked 14. Alaska, ranked 14. Alaska's safer than D.C. It's safer than Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Missouri, South Carolina, Maryland, New Mexico, Tennessee, Illinois, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Georgia. We're safer than all those places. Fucking crazy, isn't it?
And drive-by shooters, they're going to upset a certain group of people who vote for them.
Yep.
Who help put them in office.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people say, oh, those aren't the kind of people that vote. I didn't say that the juvenile pulling the trigger was the one who would be upset and not cast a vote for that liberal mayor. But they got moms, they got aunties, they got brother-in-laws, they got family members spread out all over these neighborhoods.
Yep.
Who do vote.
Mm-hmm.
And many of these people do vote.
Yep.
So when you put poor little Gary, poor little Rodney, poor little Estevez. I'm trying to use all the different races here so nobody accuses me of being racist. Did I say Chip? Or did I use a white enough name to include white people? If you upset these people, then their family members are no longer going to vote. You put poor little Gary in jail. Oh, Gary's in jail. Will the city do something about it? No, the mayor's tough on crime. Well, I'm not voting for that mayor next time. He put my poor little Gary in prison. He put him in jail. He put him behind bars. He's just a baby. They can't arrest these people and put them in jail or even hold them in jail. When they do arrest them, they let them out immediately because they will upset their voter base and they will not get reelected. Now, it's not to say that these people are going to go vote for the opposition. They'll just sit it out and not vote for anybody because, God forbid, they're not going to vote for a Republican. If you look at any map anywhere and look at where the high crime rates are, you will find time and time and time again that it is liberal Democrat
legit.
Leading the
that's bad
with violence, murders, any kind of high crime rates whatsoever are being led
145, 174, 83.
Close in these Democrat-run cities. The highest crime rates, the highest murder rates. That's why these people are.
I want to see if they'll put Anchorage on here.
Because they got where they are with this huge voting base, voting for them and putting them in office. They're going to be a one-termer if they try to get tough on crime. They're never going to make it. They're never going to last. They're looking to get reelected and promoted. Once they get into that real little weird Democrat cult, they want to continue to move up. Next, they want to be governor. Next, they want to do something else. You get these lies out there, and they're lies. They're provable lies. That we say a lot of these leftists.
We still have not gotten the dossier from the Nashville shooter. That still has not come out.
They try to say we have a red state problem. Well, if you look at the crime rates, most of the crime rates, the worst ones, the highest ones, are in red states. Look, crime tends to be a very specific local issue. You can't look at a state and say the entire state has this particular crime rate. You can, and in some cases.
If so, Chicago beats out so many people.
You have a Democrat-run state, and all the big cities are Democrat mayors. Well, clearly that's going to apply. Like California, for instance, that's definitely going to apply there. But when you look at red states out there, say like a Mississippi or an Alabama, you go, oh, look at their high crime rates. Louisiana, for instance, right where I'm at. If you look at the crime rates, and you actually, let's take murder, for instance, if you take out the murder rates of those Democrat-run cities, suddenly these red states have great crime rates. They're not so bad. But whenever you put these Democrat-run cities back into the count,
because most cities are Democrats.
Then it shows a terribly different number.
Rural counties, Republicans.
Governor looks like they're doing a bad
and or conservative.
Even though I don't like our governor in Louisiana because he is a bleeding heart liberal Democrat, he's not responsible for the crime rate in Baton Rouge or New Orleans. Those two cities are dumps, and they're run by idiot Democrat mayors, and those mayors are the ones who are responsible
get out of that state.
for the high crime rates in those particular areas. Again, I'm not taking up for this Democrat governor that we have in Louisiana, but he can't be held directly responsible for those particular crime rates. And one last thing I want to point out, the ATF doesn't seem all that concerned with these full auto Glocks that we see in so many of these videos. They come out time and time again. The ATF's not cracking down on that. We talked about
pistol brace, piece of plastic.
Responsible for just a couple of weeks ago on one of my videos.
So like these Glock switches that are coming from China, right? Oh shit, it's fucking weird. I'm acting all sorts of weird. What the fuck? What the fuck? That was weird. What is my phone doing? Okay. Well, these Glock switches are an issue. They're coming from China, and they know they're coming from China, but yet they're not stopping or sanctioning and or even searching to make sure that they're not coming through from China. Oh, good. My phone finally decided to catch up. Oh, no. Acting up stupid again. I wonder why it's doing that. But kind of ironically funny, right? That they don't care. Their whole premise is, we got to get that pistol brace. That pistol brace makes that weapon more dangerous. I think a Glock switch that makes something that's semi-automatic, fully automatic, that's worse. That's worse. Not something that you can strap to your wrist or your arm and, kind of stabilize it a little bit better. Because by the ATF ruling, you can't shoulder it. And even if you were to shoulder it, right, it does not make it more stable because you literally go from something like this big Because this is what the end of a pistol brace generally is, right? The actual hardest part. Now, a normal stock that you put on your gun is like that. That's more stable, more secure against your shoulder than this. And depending on your caliber of gun, this might hurt a lot more. Okay? So at the same time, you're not gonna want to put that against your shoulder, or you're like gonna be hurting your shoulder and your collarbone, depending on once again the caliber. But yeah, ATF, they don't give a shit because they're like, oh no, those guys would shoot at us if we try to go after their Glock. If we go get their triggers, their stuff. Oh no, they'll go shoot us. Which is why they're gonna go after anyone who bought an FRT trigger, or a solvent trap, or some other fucking bullshit. Like someone who legally bought something, legally bought it, which is how they know, because one, they don't want to do the research or the footwork or anything when it comes to investigations, which is a problem. How is it they got that job without, being good investigators, right? I've seen people who do asset protection that are better at investigating than ATF. Kind of funny, right?
But the ATF is proliferating a lot of these out there, it would appear. And in many cases, the proof of it is that they don't go after them. So, ATF, are you scared to
Yes.
go after these people?
Cowards, they are.
Block switches?
Yep.
Or are you allowing it because it's part of your master plan?
Both.
Instead of going after people with
both.
Reset triggers,
it's not just one, it's both.
And now stabilizing braces and FFLs who aren't crossing T's and dotting I's properly, you sure seem to be letting a lot of things that are right out in the open fly under the radar. This is
ATF is useless.
That the Department of Justice at the federal level has been weaponized. This is proof that they do not want to go after a voting base that they have out there. Joe Biden or whoever his handlers are that are truly pushing all the buttons.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep.
The DOJ that this is the voting base we want you to go after, and this is the one that we want you to leave alone.
Yep.
In fact, one of the most dangerous things that they could possibly have done was people from Joe Biden down talking about how truly the biggest problem in America is, quote, white supremacy. The most dangerous terrorist threat to our homeland is white supremacy. That is one of the most careless, reckless statements I've ever heard.
Which is funny, considering he was best friends with an actual legitimate KKK member who was a part of the Democratic Party. People forget the Democratic Party was, and still is, the racist party. They were the ones who wanted black slaves. They were the ones who ran their cotton fields. They were the ones in the South. It was the Republicans. It was Lincoln. And it was white people who fought and died to free those slaves because they saw it as inhumane of what they were doing to those people. It was people like that. Not white supremacy. Now, yes, was it a thing at one point in time? Yes. Could it still be a thing? Yeah. But it is so minute to the point to where it does not matter because the majority of white people don't support racism of any kind. White people hate racism from anyone and everyone. Period. It doesn't matter your color. If you're racist, we don't like it. Period. Doesn't matter your color. Whether you're black, brown, yellow, green, purple, we don't care. If you don't like someone because of their color, you're ignorant and stupid. That's how we feel. Period.
So China isn't a big threat? Isn't as big as white supremacy? Really?
Yeah, look at this. The counterintelligence and economic espionage efforts emanating from the government of China and the Chinese Communist Party are a grave threat to the economic well-being and democratic values of the United States. Which is true because they legit have a spying location in Cuba. We almost started World War III when Russia was getting ready to put missiles there in Cuba. So, I think a spying location that's right there in Cuba is pretty fucking bad, especially when they're sending able-bodied young men across our southern border. I've done videos on it. Check it out. Look it up. Don't be lazy, okay? Do research.
Fentanyl?
Yep. Big time. It's coming from China. The one coming from China is going after our kids.
Isn't as big a problem as white supremacy? Are you kidding me right now? Gang violence that we talk about that's responsible for thousands of deaths across the country every single month, every single week, every single day. Somebody's
Look at that.
killed in gang violence.
You can pause this. Look at
That's
it.
not as big a threat as white supremacy. Although you do try to put those people, I'm assuming all the people in Chicago who are getting killed are being killed by white supremacists. Surely it has to be, right? Well, that would make more sense now. Maybe we just got a bigger bucket to throw more of the white supremacists in. As long as we continue to send the wrong message out there as to what the true problem is, this can never be fixed. I thought this was America.
Plain and simple. Exactly true. Exactly. They're going to sit there and blame white people when white people aren't even doing very much of anything. But yet, when they are doing something, they're transsexual, like the Nashville shooter. Okay? Didn't even get their dossier yet. Don't even know how they planned it, how the government knew about it, and all this other kind of stuff. They still not released it. Why not? Why not? Because guaranteed, you're going to find out that the FBI was watching the person and didn't give a shit because they focused on other things like Trump and parents who, want to just make sure their kids are going to school to learn and not, get taught some stupid bullshit that's not math, science, or history. Okay? So, like, share, subscribe. Check out Legally Armed America. Great videos. Great guy. So, check out the rest of my stuff. Stay free, America. Love you guys.